Shatterhand, maybe, and Block Widow on a secret mission to stop the villain. Dance of Death is the main event. Unless I'm Rocket Raccoon, no time to be rude. Oh wait, I just murmured you. I'm a superhero, always willing to go to blow with crimes to save so many lives. A stud is do or die. Marvel champions, you a champion. I'm a champion, we are champions. I'm a superhero, always willing to go to blow with crimes to save so many lives. A stud is do or die. Marvel champions, you a champion. I'm champion, we are champions. They say it's a little bit slow, but I'm all about control. When I stun and confused, cause there's no way I would lose. I flip up and down, villain stand you round till I'm ready or not. This combo ready to drop 20-30 damages and cannon Hulk smash. I'm a bash, put him in the trash and call it a match. Let's step up in the portal or get up in game. Dead Winnie the Nelson, so keep it locked and watching. I'm a superhero, always willing to go to blow with crimes to save so many lives. A stud is do or die. Marvel champions, you a champion. I'm champion, we are champions. I'm a superhero, always willing to go to blow with crimes to save so many lives. A stud is do or die. Marvel champions, you a champion. I'm champion, we are champions.
All right, hi everybody, welcome to Descry Gaming. Now, this is a live response video that I am going to be doing. So what this means, I have not looked at this preview article. I just got the image, copy paste it, boom, put it as a thumbnail. But we're going to explore and get my reaction of this preview. So again, I'm going to be reading everything. This is all going to be basically my live response and my reaction. And all I can say right now, that box art looks fire. You've got the big baddie Apocalypse in there. He looks menacing. You got Magik. I love Magik. Magik is one of my favorite allies in the game. But I'm hoping she's a playable hero. It looks like Bishop will be, since he's sort of right on the box art there. But probably you see Beast also in the top left. So box art looks really cool. Yeah. But anyways, guys, we're going to jump right into this. Again, the chat will be live, so you guys can also ask me questions. What do I think about this? And if you're following along on my channel, we did some, what we want for the future in my point of view. And, there's been a smother of different things I've kind of was hoping for. And so this is it. This is it. So not everything that they're going to discuss in the preview will have everything in the box. Obviously, I know that. But they'll probably give us a little, hint of certain big things that are in the box. And I'm hoping that that doesn't disappoint. So let's, I guess let's go right into it. I'm going to zoom up my browser here. And here we are, guys. So here we go. This is November 2nd, 2023, the Age of Apocalypse. So, and I'm just going to take my time, guys. I'm not going to rush through this. I want to savor this moment because, these, what's up, Team Art? These postings are far in between. So I'm not going to rush through this. I want to enjoy, because we all love this game. So the end is near. The time of testing that I appointed, the week shall be windowed from the strong. Only those who prove worthy will survive the apocalypse. Not windowed. Winnowed? I never heard that. The end of the world has come. After defeating the likes of Magneto, Mr. Sinister, and Strife, the X-Men and X-Force have returned home expecting some well-deserved rest. Instead, what they found is worse than anything they could have imagined. Professor X is dead. The world is in ruins, and a ruthless tyrant rules over what remains of humanity with an iron fist. Brace yourself, heroes, for the age of apocalypse has arrived. I wonder what Deadpool would be saying during all this stuff. Fantasy Flight Games is thrilled to announce Age of Apocalypse, the 7th campaign expansion for Marvel Champions. As the conclusion of the Mutant Trilogy. Oh, right. So this is wrapping things up of expansions. No pressure. This campaign expansion sees the X-Men and X-Force team up to take down one of the most powerful mutants in history, Apocalypse. Age of Apocalypse comes with 5 brand new scenarios. Just like with all other campaign expansions, you can play each of these scenarios individually or sequentially as part of a larger campaign. So yeah, remember my one of my nitpicks was, maybe they should start doing like the campaign box with the campaign atmosphere, but then doing a couple one-offs with the campaign box. That was my hope that maybe they would I think that would please both player groups with the game, because I think there's a significant portion of the player base that doesn't really care for the campaign structure of Marvel Champions. Because I think when you focus on just a one-off, not like this campaign structure, the one-off is going to be more stronger for one-offs and more dynamic probably. All right, so this box also kicks off a new wave of playable X-Men heroes for the game, beginning with Bishop and Magik. Yes, so we got Bishop and Magik. Okay, I like those heroes. Both of whom come with fully pre-built and ready-to-play decks right out of the box. Yeah, pre-con. This foe is unlike anything our heroes have faced before, so you'll need to pull out all the stops to take them down. Do you have what it takes to survive the apocalypse? So you get a few sneak peek cards here. You got Magik the hero. I'm so happy they put Magik in the game as a hero. I think her mutant abilities in that, the way she generates portals and her backstory and her lore. She's a very interesting X-Men or mutant hero in this Marvel universe, and I'm looking forward to see how they mechanically put that into the gameplay. It's going to be interesting. Also, Bishop is another interesting hero. He has this big gun. He absorbs like kinetic energy, so it'll be interesting to see how they do his mechanics as well. And everyone has big guns in these campaigns. Like, yeah, Domino, Cable, more guns. Guns are fun. And then you have Deadpool with his guns, and then you got swords. You got Deadpool with his sword, Magik with her sword. I love swords though. Swords and guns are cool. So you see Apocalypse villain. That's a minion right there. Scarring. So probably like a cantrip. Living for Games. What's up? We got a villain minion here. Oh no, wait. Sorry, guys. No, that's a villain. I'm thinking it would say minion in this little area here. Okay, sorry. So it looks like the art-wise, they've gotten very more cartoonish, which I'm okay with that. Like it looks like this art of this box is very like comic book cartoonish and not like realistic comic book art, which is, I don't really care. I don't know if people have preferences more realistic or just more cartoonish, but yeah, Apocalypse kind of looks very cartoonish in that picture there. Okay, in Age of Despair, the story of Age of Apocalypse picks up right where the next evolution left off. at the grave of Charles Xavier's. Our heroes barely have time to grieve when the first prelate of Apocalypse strikes Unus and his squad of Infinites. I never heard of this guy. He's got toughness. This is, okay, and this is standard 1-2, guys. So, you know, I wish they would show me the expert. They always do this though. They always just show just standard 1 villains, and I'm always bummed out about that because I find like the standard on level 2, level 3 is more interesting, like what they do. But this is their standard 1 scheme, 2 attack. That's pretty lackluster. If the amount of threat on Gene Pool is at least 3, Unus gains retaliate 1. 6, Unus gains stalwart. 9, Unus also gains amplification. Okay, so what I will say this. I actually like I like this. I like this because I'll explain why. All right. If you're I guess so this is the Gene Pool scheme thing. So if you're falling behind Gene Pool, the villain is gonna slowly get more stronger and stronger. And you know, yes, he can get stalwart, he can get more amplification, gives him more reach. But again, that's on you, the player, because you're allowing him, you know, you have to tackle, I guess, this thing called Gene Pool. So there's interaction there. And like I've always said with the game and the scenarios and whatnot, I love when they allow player interaction. I don't like something that just is slapped on and there's no interaction. Unless it has some meaningful impact. I don't, like I said, I don't mind if you flip a villain like Venom Goblin. If you flip Venom Goblin to okay, go get it. You want chocolate milk? What do you want? Okay, Joshy to the rescue. No, don't touch that. Because that can knock down Joshy. Don't touch that. You want... Okay, so Josh is just... Okay, we're going to go to a commercial break. I will be right back. All right. Sorry about that, guys. We're back. Yeah, if you're familiar on my channel, Joshy likes to make his appearances, and there goes my perfect live stream out the window. Okay. So going back to the mechanical part of this villain, yeah, I like that. I like interacting with the mechanisms in the scenarios. So I think and it'd be interesting. I'm sure maybe in the villain set, encounter set, there will probably be treacheries that also maybe affect Gene Pool in a certain way, that it might do more bad things on the treachery card or whatnot. We'll see. But yeah, that's all we got. We just got a brief preview of this villain that we have to go. I never heard of this villain before. I might do a Google search on him. All right, so, and then there is a thing we can click. This is gene pool. Apocalypse uses the raw genetic material of his victims to create the infinites. Permanent setup. After an ally is defeated by anything other than consequential damage, place 3 right here. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's going to get you out of chump blocking. Allies with tough are going to be more important. But here's the thing, right? You can remove threat off here. So yeah, you could still chump block with an ally. And just remove threat off it. But yeah, I think, you know, chump blocking is kind of the big, well, it's not as a big thing on standard 2 for me, because you can get punished by chump blocking too much. But yeah, it's cool that they're still kind of looking at you, leadership. They want to make leadership players cry. And the Maria Hills get constantly chump blocked. Okay. So we saw that. I don't know if we saw this. This is a minion, infinite soldier, 1 scheme 2 attack. Has guard if the amount of threat on gene pool is at least. Okay, so this is heavily into this kind of gene pool scheme. Though it affects minions, it probably affects treacheries, affects the villain. This minion gains quick strike. This minion also gains surge. Ooh, that's wow. This minion also gets +3 hit points. But you know, still 2 attack. Vision could just, you know, be in his intangible form and laugh at this all day long, like, oh, you can't hit me. But maybe it has guard though. Yeah, that's kind of slows down the rush game a bit. All right. The gene pool grants both Eunice and the infinite several new abilities depending on how much threat is on it. And Eunice can add more threat to it through the likes of Prelate Sidearm attached to Eunice. +1 attack, asterisk, force response. After Eunice attacks and defeats an ally, place 1 threat on gene pool. So again, more threat gets put on there. So a lot of threat is going on there if you're just chump blocking and if he has this gun thing. Hero response. After you make a basic attack against Eunice, spend power fist resource, discard this card. Okay. All right. And the effect of the main scheme, hunting gene traders. Prelate Eunice and his squad of infinites scour the ruins of X-Mansion for the enemies of Apocalypse. Force response. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, place 1 threat on gene pool. Okay, so even during the villain phase, after step 1, you place 1 threat on gene pool. If the scheme is completed, players lose the game. 11 is quite beefy. So it's not a Rhino side scheme. And then if you play with a higher player group, that's quite high, and he has a very low scheme. Villain for a scheme is 1. That's pretty low. Okay, but that's on level 1. So we got evacuate survivors. Mission. Wow. Okay. So this is a new mechanic, a new system here. So let's read it. Force response. After you resolve a mission attempt, place 1 attempt counter here and deal 1 damage to each ally at the mission. If there are 4 attempt counters here, remove mission team from the game and flip this card over. When defeated, shuffle each player card at the mission into its owner's deck, flip mission team and this card over. Wait. So after you resolve a mission attempt, so how do you resolve a mission attempt? Maybe they'll explain it. Place 1 attempt counter here and deal 1 damage to each ally. So I'm assuming allies can kind of travel there or something, and then they're going to take a damage. And that's considered like one mission attempt. I'm confused. Okay, we'll read more about it. Eunice is a dire threat to the heroes on his own, but he is not the only prelate of Apocalypse at large. While playing the Age of Apocalypse campaign, the heroes must rely on their allies to handle special side missions around the globe. These missions take the form of special mission side schemes. Okay, so is this aiding the villain or neutral to the players? I don't know. Let's keep reading. Such as evacuate survivors, which we just looked at, which can only be thwarted by allies that you send to take care of them. Wow. These allies form your mission team. Interesting. Support. Mission team cannot be discarded and the first player gains control of it. Action. Exhaust mission team. Choose. Reduce the cost of the next ally played to the mission by 2. Make a mission attempt. Reduce the cost of the next ally played to the mission. So I can like play an ally and I reduce that cost by 2. And then it's, I guess it goes to the mission. Interesting. Okay. Basic campaign. I'm still trying to wrap my head around, I think I'm getting an idea how it works and won't be able to help you deal with the main villain while they are away. They also don't count towards your ally limit. Okay, so interesting. So here's what I gather. You could play an ally for a reduced cost of 2 by doing the bullet. And then it's like not in your ally count. It can't be you can't defend. Like it's in its own little mission. And then I suppose it's going to take a damage after the attempt. And I guess what is the thwart? I guess allies are only ones that can thwart the mission. It sounds like. So that opens up, ally decks way more. Like allies that have really high thwart. Are going to really benefit this because heroes can't do the missions, it sounds like. So right off the bat, I'm going to say, but here's my thing though. I still don't know, like, are these positives for the players or are they, because I was hoping that they would give the villain, something to kind of keep us busy. So maybe this one is kind of neutral, right? It doesn't really do any evacuate survivors. Yeah, maybe you get like amplification icons and hazard icons on these. So, which is really cool. I mean, if that is what I think what they're doing, that's really cool because that's like exactly what I was saying in my hope for the future is I want them to develop a new system, a new open up the dimensions of Marvel Champions more. And this is definitely doing it. This is very similar to how player size schemes opened up just the meta and deck building and whatever. I still don't know, like, I guess they're more suited towards the villain, I'm assuming. But we got to keep reading and look up more cards. And then, yeah, that stays in. But very cool, very cool. I'm very happy, excited, just in this mission system and the possibilities, what they can do to make these scenarios more unique and more flavorful. So again, guys, this is great news. I'm really happy that they're innovating the game more and more and giving us, like, as the players, more things to do. And as long as they do it, like in a very fun, interesting way and dynamic, I think it's great. Just like player size schemes, I think it's great. Side missions come with their own special rules and mechanics. as well as Overseer minions. Oh, interesting. Overseer, okay. Such as Bizarre Sugarman? Who is Sugarman? What? Sugarman, minion. Victory 5? 5 hits per player. Cannot take damage while another minion is at a mission. Cannot take damage while another minion is at the mission. So there's minions can go onto the missions. That's interesting. After you discard cards, heal 3 damage from Sugarman for each physical resource discarded. After you discard cards, mission response. What is a mission response? Okay, so you can see a lot of cool mechanisms here. The chat says the missions will definitely add a new layer. That's from Mark. And Angus says, I believe the missions are the campaign. Okay, so they're not something... but again, I mean, I'm excited for this campaign box, though, because this really changes Marvel Champions a lot. But let's keep going. So that's interesting. So this is called a Seer, Elite Overseer, that can get in your way. It can be challenging to defeat them, but the effort is worth it. In addition to special campaign rewards that can aid you in later scenarios, you also get immediate benefit depending on the current side mission. For example, when you defeat Evacuate Survivors, it flips over. Okay, finished. After you flip to the side, remove each card in the mission area from the game and do the following. If the mission was not defeated, deal each player a face down encounter card. If the mission was defeated, each player searches their deck and discard pile for 1 card and adds it to their hand. If the mission was defeated, each player searches their deck and discard pile for 1 card and adds it to their hand. So I'm trying to wrap my head around. So you get attempts, right? This is the mission side. If there are 4 attempt counters here, remove mission team from the game. Okay, so that's a fail. So you could assume you could send 4 allies to it. Wait a sec. But then per players, the threat would be like in the 3-player 15. Wait, I'm confused. How does this scale properly? Okay, so I will say this, guys. I'm not gonna. I'm sure once we bring it to the table and we play around with it, it's gonna make a lot more sense than just trying to read this. Because I'm still having a hard time understanding. There's a force response after you resolve a mission attempt. So I assume a mission attempt is this. You say Nick Fury is gonna go to evacuate survivors. That's a mission attempt. I use my thwart. I assume 1 attempt counter here, deal 1 damage to each ally. At the mission, if there are 4 attempt counters here, so maybe I'm kind of confused how does this scale though? If you have 4 attempts and it's per player. All right, we'll just keep reading, because if people in chat understand how this kind of works or scales, let me know, because I'm still a little dumbfounded how this scales in player counted games. These missions take the form of special mission size schemes such as, okay, yeah, we read that. Then you got Sugarman that gets in the way. He has Overseer. You also gain imminent, yeah. Okay, so it's either a fail or a win, and you get negative effects, positive or negative, depending on your outcome. Notice though it says that remove each card in the mission area from the game. So these allies are gone from the game? If that is the case, then you thin your deck a lot. you run out of chump blockers. Yeah, that's interesting. So leadership decks are going to come in clutch here. All right, so let me read chat here. The mission team does the attempt. They didn't really explain missions fully in the article, Mark says. But someone says go back to mission team. Reduce the cost of your next Holly played to the mission by 2. Or make a mission attempt. Yeah, my main question is, because I still don't understand it, is how does it scale in a player group when you only have 4 attempts, but this goes up by per player? Like, and if they're mission attempting, they're using their thwart, I think. Like, I'm really confused with how it works, but okay, what else do we got, guys, here? We won't go into much detail on the ins and outs of side missions today. Just know that they do a great job of making each of the campaign scenarios feel like global threats. All right, so let me just say this. It'll discard your allies, but also the minions. But it says remove from the game, living for games. It says remove from the game. But, you know, guys, I'm sure as we get closer to the game's launch and then when we play it, it's going to make sense. There'll be a very detailed instruction booklet with the box to help us out there. You have to remove the threat before the force response activates, I think. All right, so what do we got here? We got environments. Oh, hold on. Standard 3. Okay, guys. It looks like we're gonna see standard 3, maybe expert 3. Now, you know, how are they doing this? Are they just, you know, going? So here's my prediction. I haven't read anything, but my prediction is standard 3 is not going to be as brutal as expert. I think expert 2. I think they heard the feedback from the community. I think it's safe to say most of the community does not like expert 2. Especially Cruel Intentions, and there's a lot of bad cards. But I will say this, Expert 2 is great for very weak villains, Absorbing Man, Rhino, any very low tier villains in the game, guys. I think Expert 2 really spices them up a little bit more and gives them the help they need. All right, guys, but this is good news. I'm happy that they're now, and the thing about standard 3 is that's good for the whole all the way to the core box. So all right, pursued by the past, both environments. It's a permanent setup. After you place a pursuit counter here, if the number of counter here is at least 3 or more, then the number of players, remove each counter here. If your Nemesis minion is in play, it activates against you. Otherwise, flip this card over. Isn't it just the same card double here? I think they made a... Wait, no, it's a different card. After you flip to this side, find your Nemesis minion and reveal it. Search the set aside area for your Nemesis side scheme and reveal it. Shuffle your remaining set aside Nemesis set into the counter deck. Flip this card over. Okay, so we're getting more Nemesis possibilities and scenarios. So I would say one of the gripes, now the Nemesis system was really, I think, cool and interesting in Marvel Champions. Each hero has a Nemesis and a Nemesis sort of set with treacheries and side scheme. Now, you could say there are some heroes with worse Nemesis sets than others, and that is true. But one thing remains the same is that it definitely makes the game way more interesting. The Nemesis sets and the Nemesis itself are a lot more harder than traditional minions, except for Beetle and a couple other really bad nemesis in the game, but most of them are pretty scary and they're respected. And they definitely, that dynamic of you battling the villain, but now your nemesis is a great thing. I actually like when games where my shadows comes out, unlike Steve from Play the Game. But this is cool because the complaint was Expert 2 had the nemesis treachery that would just the nemesis would come out, which I think most people like that treachery. They just didn't like the other treacheries in Expert 2. But this is interesting. After you place a pursuit counter here, I don't know what a pursuit counter is, but maybe it has to do with the missions. I don't know. If the number of counters here is at least 3 or more than the number of players, remove each counter here. If your nemesis is in play, activates. So it's not in play, then you flip it over, then it comes in play. But what are pursuit counters, or how do you get them on there? I don't know. Speaking of threats, there's a new standard encounter set in the expansion as well. The standard 3 set. This set serves as a side grade to the original standard. It's about time. I mean, I love standard 2. I wish more people would play standard 2, but maybe standard 3 is going to be a little bit more forgiving and just more interesting, but not as difficult, but a little more difficult than standard 1 maybe. We'll see. Set by changing how nemesis enter play. But right there, this is beautiful. Because I think that's one of the great things about the game is the nemesis make the game very unique and interesting. And they really spice up the game. So I like this. I like that. And maybe there's a way that you can kind of minimize these pursuit counters. So again, you have maybe player interaction here. But again, guys, this is exactly what I was wanting from Marvel Champions. I wanted them to explore more, and I'm happy that they're doing that. What's up, Adam? Just heads up, Hall of Heroes website shows more of the new cards. Okay, thanks, Adam. Oh, you guys are getting popping? Sorry. Maybe because let me lower my mic a bit. I need to get a pop filter. All right, I'm gonna lower my gain a bit. 1, 2, 3. It's probably because my mic is too. Okay, I lowered a bit my gain. All right, let me know if the popping is better or if it's still there. I might have to change my wires. Maybe my cord is damaged. Harbingers of Doom. After defeating Eunice, the heroes will have to deal with the most notorious agents of Apocalypse, the Four Horsemen. Oh, guys, we didn't read this. Sorry. So this set serves as a side grade. Okay, we read that. Instead of Shadows of the Past treachery from the normal standard set, this set provides a permanent environment. Okay, so this is cool, guys, because one of the negatives with Shadows of the Past is that it's one card out of the whole encounter deck, and what usually happens in most games is it's a boost card, or maybe you cancel it with a cancel, and then you have to go through the whole encounter deck. And some games you never see your nemesis unless you're Steve from Play the Game. But now with the environment, it's more it's not as RNG. I think it's a lot more. I think there in the scenario where this is a mechanic now that I guess if you're not doing well in this system mechanic of it, your nemesis will come up. So there's less RNG. There's more of the player. It's up to the player how, I guess, badly they want their nemesis to come out. I guess. But we got to read how it works because I don't know how it works. Instead of pursue the past, which builds up pursuit counters over time until it eventually flips to summon a nemesis set in the game. The rest of standard 3 set has various ways of placing pursuit counters. Okay, cool. So the treacheries and stuff on standard 3 are going to be doing pursuit counters, and the player has to, I guess, decides how to micromanage that. With cards like Dark Design, place 1 pursuit counter on pursued by the pass. Then if it has any counters on it, the villain schemes. So that's kind of like the Dark Dealing / advance, but it does also a pursuit counter, which is cool. Boost. After the activation result, place 1 pursuit counter on pursued by the pass. Okay, so now target acquire is a lot more, precious now, because now you might not want to get a pursuit counter. You don't want your nemesis coming out. Domino's boost ability cancels are also way more valuable now. Sinister Strike, I assume this is like the assault. When revealed, Alter Ego, place 1 pursuit counter on pursuit by the pass. Then if it has any counters on it, this card gains surge. Oh, because that's interesting. Okay, so at the start of the game, it'll just place 1 counter on it. Oh, wait, no, it's always going to surge because you place the pursuit counter on it. Then it checks to see if there's a counter on it, and it gains surge. Okay. When revealed hero, place 1 pursuit counter on pursued by the pass. Then if it has any counters on it, the villain attacks you. So why they're wording that is that maybe later in the game there'll be abilities to stop a counter to go on it. And that's why it checks to see if that is checking if there's counters on it. That's my guess. Evil Alliance. Each nemesis minion in play activates against you. If no minions activated this way, place 3 pursuit counters on pursued by the pass, which will number of players. Okay, so 3 more than the number of players. So 4 is solo, 5 is 2-handed, 6 is 3 players. Okay. So here's the good news, guys. Shadows of the Pass will not come out like on turn 1 unless you're super, super unlucky and the stars align. But it looks like there's none of this turn 1 shadows. Yeah. So again, Steve from Play the Game is probably rejoicing right now. And I like to see his reaction on that because it looks like you're not going to get, and which is, I think is great for the game because why it's good for the game is there's some heroes like Cable's Nemesis and Valkyrie's Nemesis is a good one. Turn 1 Nemesis for those. Thanks for the follow. Turn 1 Shadows for those heroes is a nightmare. So this standard 3, I think, just calibrated and tweaked the way the Nemesis system kind of operates and works to be way better. Less RNG, no turn 1 shadows unless I guess you're super unlucky. But that is wonderful because that was a legitimate complaint with the game. Like, oh great, turn 1 shadows, I got a scoop, I'm playing Valkyrie or I'm playing fill in the blank. They fixed it and they made it more cooler, and it's not RNG. It's more well, there's a sprinkle of RNG, but it's a lot more fair for the villain, fair for the player. It makes a lot of sense. I would love to know who came up with that idea. Was that Tony Fauci's idea? We'll have to interview him. The standard 3 set is roughly the same difficulty level as the original standard set, so be sure to give it a try if you want to shake things up. Okay, just like I predicted, okay, let's recap here. Adam says, you think standard 3 is easier, harder than standard 2? No, they just said it's not. What it is, Adam, is that they've tweaked and calibrated to the better how the Nemesis comes out now. So instead of the traditional standard 1 way or standard 2, where you get Shadows of the Past on turn 1 through a treachery card, out of like 40 cards, you were the unlucky contestant, you get Shadows of the Past, and now you want to scoop, or that's your initial reaction. Standard 3 eliminates that practically and gives you more of a way to try to battle the villain and battle the standard 3 set, and then your Nemesis comes out. So it's kind of based around, it looks like it's more based around the Nemesis mechanism. And I think that's a really good change. And I predict, this is my prediction, that pretty much everybody will be playing standard 3 for the most part. A lot of people are going to switch over to standard 3, I think, just because nobody wants Shadows of the Past on turn 1, unless you're a masochist or you just want to get the memes out there, like the Steve meme out there on turn 1. But yeah, that's what I predict. I think it's a good one. Must buy expansion box now if this is the only way to get standard 3. Yeah, definitely. But let's be real, guys. Most Marvel Champion people that are in this game right now, we're in it, man. We're in it for the long haul. I think that the problem with living card games is, this is the problem. You get into it initially, and then you just have to gobble it up like Pac-Man. You have to get every single hero, villain, and campaign box. It just eventually you have to fold them. You have to just get everything, and that happens. Okay. Harbingers of Doom. After defeating Eunice, the heroes will have to deal with the most notorious agents of Apocalypse, the Four Horsemen. Oh yeah, that was kind of predicted in a lot of previews. So we got War, Famine, Pestilence, Death, which is Angel. I think it's Angel. Or, yeah, I don't know. Pretty straightforward. They're, again, level 1 villain sides, so they're a little bit weaker. This scenario pits you against 4 villains at once. War. After War attacks you, if he has at least 1 hit point, discard and upgrade or support your control. War cannot be defeated while another villain has at least 1 hit point. So let me understand this. War cannot be defeated while another villain has at least 1 hit point. So these are like, so this is going to be like a mansion scenario, looks like, because you've got 9 per player. That's very low. And he can't be defeated while another villain has at least 1 hit point. So are the others like that? That's the question. Death? Yeah, I guess they all have that sort of bold text down there. Famine cannot be defeated while another villain has at least 1 hit point. So what does this mean? I'm a little confused. So she can't be defeated. Okay, so I assume you have to get them all down to 1 hit point, and then you can wipe them. So that's interesting. I think that's, if I interpret that how it's interpreted. Yeah, similar to tower defense. I hear you on that one. So we looked at War. So he's going to discard upgrades or sporting control, but you could always discard like a skill investigator or like really low upgrades. After Phantom attacks you, if she has at least 1 hit point, discard the top 10 cards of your deck. Well, that's pretty nasty. after pestilent attack. Okay, so wait. No, I misunderstood this. Okay, let me clarify, guys. You can zero out a villain. They're not. They stay in play, but they're zeroed out, and they don't proc their abilities only if they have some life on them, 1 or higher. Okay, so that's what it means. And yeah, like tower defense, you have to knock them out completely, like each villain. Okay, I understand. Sorry, I kind of got a little confused when I first interpreted it, but basically, their force response are triggering as long as they have some health points on them. As soon as you zero them out, they don't trigger anymore, but they still actually do their attacks and whatnot. But then if you knock them all out to 0, then boom, they're all flipped or you win. Similar to previous multi-villain scenarios, only one member. Now, how do you guys feel about multi-villain scenarios? I think that they've been getting much better at them. I think if you look through the first iteration of it, which was Wrecking Crew, which was a nightmare. I think Wrecking Crew, the problem with Wrecking Crew was you had to separate a completely different encounter decks, and it was very kind of clunky because you had to put a counter deck here, counter deck here, counter deck here, counter deck here. And, you know, people kind of complain about the setup a little bit, even though it doesn't take you forever. But when you get used to just putting out a villain, grabbing the standard counter set with the recommended, boom, you're done. And then when you compare that to Mansion, compare that to Tower Defense, it just, Sinister Motives, you had the Sinister Six. You know, I don't mind. I don't mind having, you know, one of the multi-villain scenarios in the box. That's fine. I think if they overdo it, yeah, I think if they do a second or third scenario with multi-villains, it definitely, yeah, I don't think it's its strongest thing, because here's why. It's very tricky. There's a lot of moving pieces, and to scale it properly. And usually the encounter deck is doing a lot of weird things in it, but it's cool. I'm not saying I don't like the multi-villain scenarios. I much prefer them nowadays than, say, back in the core days with Wrecking Crew. That was a nightmare. And I think I actually took it out of my, I put it in some weird box that I unsleeved it too. Yeah, I was pretty nasty to that counter set. I needed more sleeves, so I took it out of the ones that I don't play. But no, I like multi-villain scenarios, and I think they're getting better and better with them. So I'm interested to see what they can do. I feel like these are the hardest to get right, though. You got to do a lot of play testing, a lot of fooling around with, you know, because it's not one villain. There's multiple villains. Now they're trying something a little bit unique here. These force responses are always going to trigger. Actually, it's more like tower defense, and I guess this is like Caleb's design again, going back to tower defense. But tower defense is not a bad scenario. It's pretty cool, but it's a little RNG a bit, because there's that one treachery that just unleashes a whole bunch of destruction onto the tower. Golden Horse, attached to the villain with the fewest hit points without the aerial trait. Attached villain gains the aerial trait and is considered to have at least 1 hit point. Hero response: after you attack attached villain, resolve its force response as if it just attacked you. What is the force response? Oh, okay, I understand. The force response on the villain. Okay, so they each have nasty effects. So it's gonna give them 1 hit point, or it's considered to have 1 hit point. So here's the thing: it's gonna proc twice, right? It's gonna so let's take war for instance. After war attacks you, if you have at least 1 hit point, discard and upgrade support control. So if I'm reading this correctly, this say this happens, gets this attachment in the counter phase, then they get an assault. They're going to attack with this on. They're considered to have 1 hit point. If you did a retaliate or something, then you could bypass that extra activation. But after you attack, attached villain resolves its force response. So you resolve it twice basically, because it gives it 1 hit point and then another. But if you were to retaliate or something, then it just does it once. Okay, that's cool. +1 scheme, +1 attack. +1 scheme, +1 attack, metal wings. Attach to death and move the active counter to him. Death gains retaliate 1 and is considered to have at least 1 hit point. Okay, after you attack death, resolve its force response as if he just attacked you. I know some people are hoping for Iceman. After you attack death, resolve. Okay, so same thing. But he gains retaliate. What did the other one do again? Aerial trait. So I wonder if, yeah, aerial, there must be a treachery in this set that also does some nasty stuff. But wouldn't metal wings give you aerial too? Like, I don't get that. But whatever. Rough Riders, when revealed, resolve the force response on the active villain as if it has at least 1 hit point and attacked you. Move the active counter to the next villain and resolve its force response. Okay, so a lot of, basically what's happening is these force response are going to be triggering a lot. And you're discarding upgrade supports. Oh, wow, Pestilence, yeah. So your mutant abilities are going to be blanked, except for traits, until the next villain phase. That is huge. That is huge. If Cable gets touched, he's going to lose a psionic trait. If he gets a psionic trait, Rogue, like there's so many things that this really affects. A lot of superpowers. Wow. That is and this guy is ally hate. Your leadership build, you have a lot of allies out going long. This guy is going to do 1 damage to everything. So, wow. So they got a lot of counters. Each villain brings a lot of counter meta. Okay, this is probably by far the best multi-villain deck mechanics I've seen so far in the game. Because it counters so many of the popular deck builds. And there's going to be a lot of strategy like stun. What villain do you want to stun or confuse? You know, you don't want them to activate. People might target Pestilence constantly. They don't want, you know, say you're playing Domino. You don't want her to activate at all. So, yeah. So, hats off. I'm really liking this set so far. And I know guys, this is a long response live stream, but I'm really just taking it in and taking my time with this. So I hope you guys don't mind. So we got Apocalypse here. This is level 1 form, 1 scheme, 2 attack, toughness. 15, 8 hit points per player. Force interrupt. When the main scheme is completed, remove all threat from it. Ignoring any crisis icons, flip this card and reveal Apocalypse 2. Okay, so this is interesting. So he gets like a leveled up Apocalypse, I guess, once the main scheme is completed. Or something happens, he changes, basically. Let's keep reading here. Of course, even the 4 horsemen pale in comparison to Apocalypse himself. This tyrant is nigh invincible, and he only grows in power the longer the fight goes on. Beginning with his first stage, Age of Apocalypse, 101A. Yep. Apocalypse gradually upgrades to stage 2. Okay, stage 2, 2 scheme, 2 attack, steady toughness. Force interrupt when the main scheme is completed. Remove all threat from it. Remove this card from the game and reveal Apocalypse 3. Stage 3. He's a 2/3. Steady and toughness. So they give him steady on stage 2. So you can kind of stun, confuse him a bit on stage 1, get yourself set up. Stage 2, he's going to be a lot harder to control. And stage 3, he hits a lot harder and has more hit points. Oh, wow. Flip Apocalypse to stage 4. Keeps going like the Energizer Bunny. Now he has Stalwart, so you have no control whatsoever on him with stun or confuse. He becomes a 3/3 with Asterix. He gains Overkill. Oh, wow. That is intense. Force interrupt. When the main scheme is completed, the players lose the game. So he's either going to stomp your face in or win by just powering up and completing the main scheme. Okay. Now, let me, my thoughts on this, guys. I like, again, I'm not a huge fan of Stalwart, but if done properly, if done in a way of, and I've said it in my previous streams, if they Stalwart a villain on the last flip or something you do in the scenario that really, you complete a certain scheme that thematically changes the story of the game or whatever, like Strife and stuff. I think Stalwart is fine, especially on the very big baddies, but I don't like Stalwart like given to whatever villain on turn 1. And I know there's a couple of people like, oh, the Sentinel makes no sense. It's a machine. Think about it. You hit the Sentinel hard enough, you jolt its circuits in the computer, it fries up a bit, it's stunned a little bit, or you confuse it by giving it a virus. I don't know. But no, I don't care. I mean, even Sentinel or Master Mold, sorry. I think Master Mold should not have been Stalwart completely. Because you might disagree with me on this, but stun and confuse is a great mechanic in the game. And I don't mind scenarios where, the phase 1 of the villain is steady or doesn't have Stalwart. It allows other heroes like Hawkeye and other Spider-Woman, other heroes that rely on confuse and stun to protect them, to get them time to build up, because they're control type heroes. Miles Morales, it allows you to do that. Now, this is done, I think, fine, because stage 1 there's no steady. Stage 2 and 3 there is steady, and then finally stage 4 you have Stalwart. So no complaints from me. It gives control heroes enough time to try to do what they got to do, and they're not thrown into the garbage bin at the start of the game where, oh, great. Again, unless under, like, I know you have Thanos that has Stalwart right from the go. I think he should have had steady on level 1 and 2. Level 3 Stalwart. They should have did that with Thanos. And again, I know people might disagree. Well, that's not thematic. I think it's thematic still. He has steady, right? And he gets really upset and angry the more you pound on him. And then he gets Stalwart. Brant says it should be independent, immune to stun or immune to confuse. Well, but I think Stalwart simplifies the status game, right? Yeah, I disagree with you, Brad, because I think, having Miles Morales jump and try to confuse Thanos, like in the movie, like there was times where they're trying to confuse him or mount an attack on him, and it kind of worked initially. So if he has Stalwart, he never gets confused, never gets stunned. So I think thematically that fails if you just give Thanos Stalwart right on turn 1. I don't mind him getting Stalwart on the flip, and I think that's the proper way to do it. I don't believe giving Stalwart right at turn 1, unless like Magneto, you were able to weaken him. That was a great concept too. That could be, you could have Stalwart on turn 1, but you have to do something to weaken them or something. But yeah, I just think it's bad game design to just give any villain in the game just Stalwart on turn 1. Or there's no way to interact with that Stalwart. And I feel like they did miss the boat on Thanos. I think they could have did him better. Like, here's the thing. Like, there's people that play the game that love control heroes. And when you slap on Stalwart on turn 1 on a villain, half your play with how you play that hero goes out the door. So I just think that's bad game design. I think and giving him steady on level 1 is still gonna make that gauntlet proc off a lot. Anyways, let's move forward. But that's my opinion, and I'm glad that it sounds like they're being more cautious with how they put Stalwart out there, and yeah, like they're definitely getting smarter in my opinion. The Age of Apocalypse this time has come from a direct assault on Apocalypse in his towering citadel. X is the numeral in Apocalypse's printed hit point value. Force interrupt. When Apocalypse would be defeated, discard each attachment from him and heal all damage from him. Instead, remove X threat from this game, ignoring any crisis. X is the numeral in Apocalypse's printed hit points. So this is the main, right? Main scheme 1B. Has a cap X per player, and then 1 per player. Right. X is his hit points. So, wait. Printed hit points. I'm confused because he has printed hit points, 8 hit points. So is it 8 hit points per player plus the calculation of this? When a possible be defeated, discard each attachment from him. Okay, so some of this stuff is really confusing me, but I think I understand it. Anyways, I want to keep this going. I'm sure people in chat can explain it a little bit better to me, but I think I understand it. Thankfully, there's no way. So they say, so each time that this main scheme pops, this is per player how much he has to pop it, right? I understand. But then you have +1 down here, which is a little confusing. I don't know. I'll figure it out. This scheme also prevents him from being defeated. How could our heroes hope to win against such impossible odds? Okay, so can you defeat him on stage 4? No. Okay, so you can't just straight up defeat him. When you defeat him, this procs. You discard all the attachments. You heal him up. Remove X threat from the scheme. So there must be some other way to defeat him. This side scheme also prevents him from being defeated. Okay, thankfully there is a way. In order to defeat Apocalypse, the heroes must first make their way to the heart of the Empire. Threat cannot be removed from the scheme while a prelate minion is in play. What is a prelate minion? When defeated, the first player reveals a random set-aside prelate minion. Deal each other player an encounter card, flip this card over. So you have to defeat this. When you defeat it, he gets a tempo swing on you with more encounter cards, and you reveal a set-aside prelate minion, which I don't know what that is. In order to reach the tower, that towering citadel, threat cannot be removed from this scheme while a prelate minion is in play. When defeated, the first player reveals a random set-aside prelate minion. Deal each. Oh, didn't we just read that? Heart of the Empire. No, this is different. Deal deal each other player an encounter card, reveal the Tyrant's Throne side scheme, and remove this card from the game. 2 accelerations compared to 1 acceleration. Okay, so things are getting spicy. Once they climb the tower and reach the Tyrant's Throne. Oh, wow. Threat cannot be removed from the scheme while a prelate minion is in play. So you got to kill these prelate minions. Maybe it's like Hela with her minions that you have to defeat first. Or wait, is this the same scenario? Horsemen? They're horsemen. Okay. First player reveals a random set-aside prelate minion. Deal each other player an encounter card. Flip this card over and reveal no longer worthy. Okay. So it's like a journey like Hela, basically. Must prove that the villain is no longer worthy. Attachment, no longer worthy. Attach to Apocalypse and heal. 5 hit points per player. He cannot take damage while a prelate minion is in play. Ignore the force interrupt on the main scheme. Force interrupt. When Apocalypse is defeated, the player wins the game. Okay. So this has the Hela vibes, and this is kind of like from Caleb, I believe. We'll reveal more information about the 4th and 5th scenarios on a later date, so brace yourself for it. So wait a second. This is the 3rd. So are you saying the Heartbringers of Doom is mixed in with Apocalypse? Or is this its own? Is this scenario 3? Oh no, this is scenario 3. Okay. Yeah, because you've got, okay, so they revealed 3 scenarios, and then they're gonna more information on 4th and 5th. Now here's the thing. Who the hell is the 5th villain? Who is the last villain? I thought Apocalypse was the big baddie of the whole box. Wow. So this has got the Thanos vibes as far as difficulty goes, but probably more difficult. But I love that they didn't give him freaking stalwart so early on the flips. They put it to the last flip, which I think is perfect. Heroes of Hope. Okay, so we got Bishop, and then we've got Magic. Wow. Okay. But let me just recap on this campaign box. So standard 3 can be used up into the core. It says it replaces the standard 1. It's not campaign box only for this campaign box. It can use in any one-offs or campaign. I think this has been probably the best thing I've seen in the box. Also with the mission size scheme, although the mission size schemes are tied to this campaign box and the one-offs to the campaign box. I believe, or is it campaign locked in? Let's go. Where's the campaign? Oh no, you have to play the campaign to do the mission. Okay, so it's not tied to one-offs. So I was hoping that the missions were sort of like player size schemes, that it was going to change the game, but it looks like it's tied into the campaign play only, because mission team is basic campaign. And I believe you need this in order to do missions. But that again, I'm super excited for that. But standard 3, I think, is great because it fixes the problem with turn 1 Nemesis, turn 1 Shadows of the Past. And I know it's been like a meme to get Shadows of the Past on turn 1, but gone are those days now. And standard 3 does not change the difficulty of it. It just changes the structure of standard 1, and it does it in a better way, in more interesting way. So, and I think that was probably the right move, because standard 2, expert 2 are for the tryhards and the sweatband people like myself who want to sweat a lot. But that being said, I'm going to play a lot of Standard 3 games for sure. But I do like Standard 2 far as a lot of the treacheries in Standard 2. But I might default to Standard 3. And I could always link it up with Expert 2. But I'm not... Yeah, Expert 2 is really tough though. Yeah, and going into the villains here and just the encounter sets in them, they each look really interesting. There is some traces of previous kind of scenarios. Like, he seems a lot different than what we've seen, but definitely the multi-villain scenario for sure. Tower defense. You got a lot of those vibes there, and also mansion, attack on the mansion. Apocalypse has the Thanos vibes with Hela vibes, which again, I think this is Caleb's main dev on this box set. So it makes sense that he's kind of going into things that people for the most part, people liked the Loki expansion box, Mad Titan Shadow. And so I think he's just taking the positives from that box and just supercharging them a bit and making them more creative. That's my take on that. And then everybody's favorite, the 2 new heroes that come with the box. So let's go over that. Poetic says, my money is on Dark Phoenix for the last scenario. And I just want to say, guys, thank you so much for joining this live response. We've got like 27 people. This is like the record for my channel of live people on the stream. Again, if you like this content, like, subscribe. Another thing, I will be playing a full playthrough in this box, and I might try to do well, we're definitely going to try it on Standard 3 because that looks really fun. But yeah, so definitely I'd love to have you here on the channel. And I know I said that I'm kind of burned out Marvel Champions, but obviously, like, I'm totally pumped for this box. We're definitely going to get right back into the thick of things once we get this box set. And there's also Deadpool. That's going to be amazing. I love to try to do like one-turn kills with Deadpool and a lot of crazy synergies with him. So definitely keep it locked on this channel as we explore those things. But let's look at these heroes. All right, so you got Bishop, and he's kind of like Cable a bit. He's got the Cable vibe, like with the big gun and everything. X-Force. His alter side is temporary displaced. Response: after you change this form, add a temporal card in your discard pile to your hand. So temporal cards are probably to do with his mechanics, probably of how he operates. And then he's got hero side, 2 Thwart, 2 attack, 1 defense. Energy absorption. Response: after Bishop takes any amount of damage from an attack, discard an equal number of cards from the top of your deck. And add each resource card discarded this way to your hand. So that is really interesting. So he is going to be also running, what's that discard card basic that Domino loves to play? Domino has in all her decks. I'm drawing a blank. You guys know what it is. The resource that when you discard it, it goes into your hand. I forget what it's called, but yeah, he's going to be running that. Mark says, nothing re-energizes like new content. Agnes looks like a great closer to the X-Men cycle. Yeah, guys, I was super pumped for Next Evolution. I'm just as pumped up with this box as with Next Evolution. Maybe a little bit more because there's a lot more newer stuff and nuances going on in this. Digging Deep, thank you, Rayman. You are awesome. And White Fox, totally. Okay, so he's got temporal keyword on both sides, and he wants to be taking damage. So this is cool because he's got that kind of Drax vibe. Like Drax wants to be attacked, or Spider-Ham wants to be attacked or take damage. So he's got the Spider-Ham vibe of he wants to take some sort of damage, 1 damage basically. And if he does, you can discard an equal number of cards from the top of your deck. So I wonder if they're going to add more cards that synergize with discarding. Whoops, sorry guys, I knocked the mic. That would be cool. But so if you like Domino, if you like those discarding decks, he seems to be up there in that type of lane. First off, Lucas Bishop. Yeah. A time-traveling soldier with the ability to absorb and rechannel energy. This is represented in Bishop's Age of Apocalypse 1A hero ability, Energy Absorption, which allows them to discard cards from the top of your deck after being attacked and add any discarded resource card to your hand. If you're lucky, you could wind up with a bunch of stored energy. Oh, nice! In your hand after taking a big hit from the villain. That's awesome. I love how they nail the theme of the heroes in this game, and villains too. Like I said it in my in a lot of my streams, like this is what got me so hooked to this game, was that like I love feeling like I'm Spider-Man. I love feeling like I'm Iron Man. I love like you have so many heroes to choose from, and they all give you that thematic feel. At least for me. I mean, I can't talk for everybody, but they do such a good job. The only person, like, yes, they could have made Hulk a little bit more interesting because he's kind of, I know, yeah, let's not get into the Hulk. This is about, I gotta watch myself. I'm like tiptoeing into rabbit trails here. But no, they nail the theme, so I love it. And they just get better and better, it seems like, every release of every hero. So I guess the playtesting, the talent, it's gone higher and higher. And that's why we're seeing like way better, like just fun thematic heroes that they keep releasing. Naturally, Bishop comes with several cards in his kit that makes special use out of all those resource cards. Okay. His signature ally is Malcolm. I don't know who this is. Action, discard a resource card from your hand. Ready Malcolm. If that card has a printed fist icon, heal 1 damage from Malcolm. So he can kind of stay on the playmat. You could put Inspires on him. You could put a, what do you call it? A sidearm on him. So he could constantly kind of get damage and ready him, and you get a heal with the fists. And because of stored energy has a fist, he's going to get that benefit. But yeah, you wouldn't really want to discard this. It's a double. So you would want to discard, but the wilds you can discard his fist. And it has to be, oh, just printed. It doesn't have to be a resource type card. And Randall, I don't know who Randall is. Temporal X-Men, 2 thwart, 1 attack. So this guy's more the thwarter, and Malcolm's more the attacker. That's what it looks like. Ready Randall, if that card has a printed power icon, heal 1 damage from Randall. Limited once per phase. They're both limited once per phase. Discard a resource card. So you couldn't, I don't think you can do 2 actions at the same time. I think they're independent from each other. So you couldn't be like, I'm going to discard a store energy and proc Randall and proc Malcolm. Although that could be rule checked. Maybe it does work. But based on my understanding about the timing window, I don't think so. But maybe the rule people will say, oh yeah, you can do it. But I'm going to say I don't think so at this point in time, based on what I know about the rules. Can both be readied and healed after discarding a resource card. Well, oh, wait a second. Because, okay, so here, you proc this action, discard a resource card from your hand. My question is, can you proc this action twice at the same time to discard the store energy and then ready them both and heal them? That's, I guess the rule people are going to clarify that. Hopefully they put that in the frequently asked questions on the hero in the box, because I'm sure that's going to be asked on day one. Bishop's Rifle. Pretty badass rifle there. Restricted. Hero action attack, exhaust Bishop's Rifle and choose an enemy. Deal 1 damage to that enemy for each resource card in your hand. Wow, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. That's bonkers. All right, because you could go like digging deeps. You could build, oh my gosh, this is one of the heroes, one of the first heroes that's gonna be like this. This hero is gonna be all about like resource. You want a lot of resource cards. So you're gonna really tap into those aspect resources, the power of all of us and all that kind of stuff. You're gonna tap into a lot of those unique resources. That is cool. I like, and thematically that fits, right? Because he's like, the resources are kind of like him charging up, and then when he absorbs damage, and add each resource card, discard this way. So it thematically plays into the energy absorption, and then his rifle, uses that based on how many resources he has in his hand. That is genius. That is genius. Let's read some chat here. Dylan Watkins, this set's going to be beautiful with the tools we have now. So happy with this launch. The villains look a little meh so far. Oh yeah, but I will say this, guys. Caleb, I know, I do say a lot of good things about Tony, but I believe Caleb is heading this box up. But Caleb has improved. Like, I have faith in Caleb. I think he knows what he's doing. If you look at from his early days to his later boxes that were designed by him, he's improved a lot. He's gotten better at crafting these scenarios. I have good faith that he knows what he's doing. And like I said, from what I've seen, guys, we're just seeing the standard sides. The expert sides are probably going to be a lot more intense, a lot more maybe crazier. So if this looked a little, blasé, don't worry. I'm telling you right now, this scenario, this campaign box is going to be another banger. It's going to be another banger. So get that pre-order. Trust me. But right now, yeah, loving Bishop. I love the way they did this. This gun, Fantasy Flight. You're awesome. They nailed it with Cable. They nailed it with Domino. Now they nailed it with Bishop. So I'm pretty impressed there. Uniform, Bishop's uniform. Response: after you resolve Bishop's energy absorption ability, exhaust Bishop's uniform, heal 1 damage from Bishop for each. Wow, man. See, he's all about resources. Like, you want to clunk his hand, you want to draw into those resources, you want those resources to come back to your hand, and then that is so cool. I wasn't even over the moon with Bishop himself, but he looks like a super fun hero to deck build for. Watkins says X23 is auto include now in leadership, 3 costs, 3 damage, rating character so good. Yeah, X23 looks really good. Both scales, number of resources in your hand. Discard extra resource cards to build up power on supercharge. It just keeps getting better and better. Supercharge, 0 upgrades, superpower. Discard a resource card from your hand. Place 1 charge counter here for each resource icon on that card. Wow. Hero Interrupt. When you make a basic attack, discard Supercharge. You get +2 attack for this attack for each charge counter here to a maximum of +8 attack. So he starts at 2 attacks. That's 10 attack. So you could get up to 8 attack with counters on here and then swing in for 10 attack with your basic stats. Yeah, that's cool. Concussive Blast. Deal 6 damage to an enemy if you paid for this event with a resource card Ready Bishop. Wow, man, they're tying everything into the resources, which is really cool. Then you got X23 ally. After X23 attacks and defeats enemy, ready her. Oh, wow. That is... Nah. Are you kidding? Wow. It's like a Valkyrie out. That's like a mini Valkyrie right here. But she just needs a way to heal. Sidekick upgrade attached to identity specific ally control. So identity specific ally has to be from your hero kit ally. Attached ally gets +2 hit points and is your sidekick. Response: after you make a basic recovery, heal 2 damage. That is what? Oh my god, that changes the game so much. That leadership resource card, that's 1 resource per ally, is going to be incredible. With 3 allies and 3 damage with his rifle. 100%, man. Oh, they got him locked into leadership already. And the sidekick. You see that? You can heal your identity specific. So, oh, there's some, and this could apply to any of the identity allies in the game. That is really, so here, another complaint, guys, was the wreck was not being utilized as much. So this card right here, Sidekick, is going to incentivize people to use the wreck more, right? It's going to heal your sidekick basically, which is so funny and so thematic too. Like, because you know, in you have Jubilee there, and Wolverine's like, okay, kid, let's go, and she's like, yes, I'm gonna get to help Wolverine, and that's so cute. As a battle tested, so this is what I love about this. Like, I literally feel like a teenager or a kid again. Like, even though I'm like a grown ass man with kids and a wife, but like, you know, this brings me back to my days when I used to collect comic books and read about the X-Men, and this is why, you know, I just have such a love for this game, is that it's just so fun. It's, you know, and it's so customizable, and it just keeps getting better and better. Like, again, if you are new to Marvel Champions and you're wondering, should I get into this game? Is this game going to die and all that and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not going to die. Get into this game if you like either Marvel Universe, you like comics, you like card game, cooperative. This is probably one of the best cooperative card games out there. I mean, yeah, you could say Arkham Horror and stuff like that, but nah, Marvel Champions any given Sunday for me. Poor Guardians without identity specific allies. That's hilarious. Yeah. I've Arc Addy, yeah, 100%. Sidekick is going to make X23 so much better. Going to proxy it when she comes out. Yeah. That's crazy. Okay, so as a battle-tested field commander, Bishop. Okay, let's finish reading this, and then I'll give you my final conclusion on Bishop. Bishop is a natural fit for the leadership aspect, which is what his pre-built deck uses. As we said before, Age of Apocalypse is all about the X-Men X-Force coming together to take on Apocalypse. And Bishop's pre-built deck reflects that. Strong X-Force allies like Cable. Cable thwarts and defeats a side scheme, draw 1 card. Beautiful, beautiful. And X23, we saw that. Command similar abilities to their hero versions. I love when they do that. While new additions, Legion. Oh, basic? I don't know who this person is. After Legion uses a basic power, discard the top card of your deck. If that card's printed resource has power, deal 2 damage. Remove 2 threat. or heal 2 damage from Legion. Wow, that is a cheap 3-coster for what that does. That I would put that at a 4 cost. I mean, because you could heal him, and then there's like with Cable, he gets a power and physical with his identity resource. That's very strong. He's a good basic, guys. And Marrow is a 2-coster, 2 hit points. Play only if you have the X-Force or X-Men trait. After Marrow enters play, deal 2 damage to the enemy. Okay, it's like a Squirrel Girl, but only to one entity only. All right, so yeah, I mean not bad. I mean, think about it, guys. For a 2-coster, you do 2 indirect damage or 2 indirect damage to a minion, villain, whatever, and then you can attack and then chump block. So that is a very good ally. Very good ally. Once you build very good utility. Yeah. Once you build up a team, use the advanced suit upgrade attached to X-Force or X-Men ally. After attached ally defeats a minion or side scheme, discard 1 card from your hand. Heal 1 damage from attached ally for each resource on that. Are you joking? Holy crap. Man, this is bonkers. That is a really good card. And that goes really well with Bishop, too. And then they talk about sidekick and can't fight them with side by side. Ready your sidekick, ready your hero, and choose 1. Heal 1 damage from both characters. Both characters get +1 thwart and +1 attack till the end of the phase. That's good, guys. That's not only a ready of your sidekick, but ready of your hero too. Plus you get more attack. So that's money right there. Wow, we're at 33 viewers right now. This is astronomical for my channel. All right, so let's just recap on Bishop. I love it. I never thought they could hit another home run. As many heroes that we have in this game, you think after a while they would get like a dud hero. No, they do not. They keep hitting home runs. Cable was awesome. Domino was fantastic. I love Psylocke. I haven't played Angel too much, so I don't want to give my thoughts on Angel at this point. But you know, overall, they're doing a stellar job, and I'm very excited to deck build for Bishop. That he has so many moving parts. Which is awesome. And then thematically, they nailed the energy absorption mutant trait that he has. And the fact that you, game mechanic wise, do that with resources. So when you're deck building, there's so many different cool resources in the game that we have at our fingertips. This is just really fun, really cool, really creative. And again, another home run, knocked it out of the park. I'm super excited to try Bishop. All right, so I'm so flabbergasted that they put Magic in as the hero, which I'm surprised because I thought maybe Nightcrawler, Iceman, you know, Beast, but they put in Magic, which I'm not complaining. I like Magic. I think she's really cool, and she's very sassy. Guy says Spider-Woman with Captain Marvel sidekick is just crazy. For sure. Gandalf, is that you? All right, so let's talk about Magic. This is her alter ego side, Mutant Mystic. Oh, she has the Mystic trait. So she can take advantage of the basic Supreme Sorcerer or something like that, right? I forget what it's called, but you get a +1 card in hero form. So she can get a 6 hero hand size, I believe. When you change to hero form, choose a spell in your discard pile and put it on top of your deck. So what you want to do probably is have a way to draw a card when you flip to hero, because if you have like a mansion or whatnot, you can flip to hero, you can put that exact spell you need, use mansion, draw it, and then you can play it. Or another cheaper support to draw a card, like Myra Metager. When you change from the forms, you can proc Myra Metager. So that is a cheap one to use, but very good synergy right there. All right, joining the fight alongside Bishop is Ilyana Rasputin, and she has a 3 rec, 10 hit point hero, hand size 6, better known as Magic. 1 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. Play the top card of your deck face. Oh, see, I just needed to read that. So you don't have to draw a card with mansion or whatever. Play the top card of your deck face up. Okay, so so you don't even need to do that. Once per phase, you may play the top card of your deck as if it was in your hand, reducing its cost by 1. Wow, that's crazy. So you get a cheaper card to play. So it almost like makes your hand size bigger than what it is. And it actually definitely economy wise, because it's not in your hand and you're playing it from your deck, it definitely saves you resource costs, plus with a lower recost value. Play with the top card of your deck face up. Once per phase, you may play the top card of your deck. So it's per phase. So here's the thing: if you're playing protection or cards that allow you to interact on the villain phase, you can proc this ability again. The top side, the face up card. So if you get like a desperate defense as the face up on the villain phase, when you draw up, you can play it, and it costs 1 less, so it's free. So that is really, really good. Living for Game says, great with the Hulk ally. Yeah, no more geniuses. So really cool. So you got these 2 interactions happening here. You have the mechanism to pull the spells and put it on your top of your deck, and then when you flip, you can play that with a reduced cost. So really cool, really cool. So let's read. As both a mutant and mystic, Magic acts as a wide variety of powers, and her ability allows you to treat the top card of your deck as if it was part of your hand. You also get a discount when playing a card from the top of your deck. So if you strategically use your power Limbo support, after the villain phase begins, exhaust Limbo. OMG. Are you kidding me? That is super crazy. So now you can always proc those desperate defenses for free. Swap a card in your hand with the top card of your deck. So say you get that defense card and you're like, oh shoot, it's in my hand. You can just put it on the top, swap it. Action, exhaust Limbo, swap a card in your hand with the top card. That is so genius, man. They're just so good with these mechanics. And that's that hits the theme again, because she's doing these like dimension doors and stuff. That's so cool. Most of the rest of Magic's kit interacts with the top of your deck as well. Her crown, so it's an upgrade. Magic gains steady. Nice. Well, the top card of your deck has a genius or wild resource icon. Magic gets +1 thwart. Oh, nice. So now you're manipulating in order to increase your stats. Again, brilliant, brilliant. Armor, And this does another thing. So magic gains Retaliate 1, Mystical Armor. While the top card of your deck has Power or Wild resource icon, magic gets +1 defense. Wow, this is now Limbo is exhausted. So here's the thing, right? That's an action, but this starts at the villain phase. Okay, so you do get 2 swaps. You get 1 in villain and 1 in your player phase, unless your support gets exhausted somehow. Which... Okay, so that's cool. So you do get 2 swaps. So you can kind of, you can play around with your deck and your hand to get more attack or more thwart or more defense. That's really cool. So now you have the Soul Sword. Restricted magic's basic attacks gain piercing off the hook. While the top card of your deck has physical or wild, magic gets +1 attack. Now here's the thing that I just figured out. If the wild is on the top, you get +1 thwart, +1 defense, +1 attack. So she wants to probably run a lot of wilds in order to increase those stats all around the board. And that's really cool. All grant a stat boosting depending on what resources are visible on the card atop your deck. And these upgrades are quite cheap. Crown's kind of expensive. It's a 2-coster, but you gain steady, which I think is pretty stellar. Then we've got, with that in mind, you can use Magic's signature stepping discs. Event 1 cost, but if it goes on the top, it's 0. Ready your hero, choose a magic card in your discard pile, not named stepping disc, and put it on top of your deck. All right, so you can't obviously bring stepping disc, but you can bring in another magic card. Pretty cool. But it's a ready, and it preps you for something. To warp a card from your discard pile back on top of your deck in order to give yourself the buff you need. Still not enough control for you? Then do some scaring. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Draw 1, discard 1, and put 1 back on the top. That is... I love it, man. I love this. And if you're worried about magic taking damage while you're still getting set up, call on her brother Colossus. So that's your signature ally, toughness, 2/2 X-Men. When an enemy attacks you, play Colossus from your hand. Okay, so we got that guy from Adam Warlock kind of playing his resource cost and declare him the defender without exhausting him. That's even better. Nice. Pug is from Adam Warlock. Oh man, that's so cool. I love it. But the enemy has to be attacking you. It can't be attacking another hero in the play group. And then we got Gold Balls. Never heard of this guy. He shoots balls out of his chest. Asterisk for attack. When Gold Balls attacks, discard up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Gold Ball gets +X attack for this attack, where X is the number of cards discarded this way. So he becomes a 4 attack. Interesting. Blood Rage, max 1 per player. So this can... After you defeat an enemy with a basic attack, exhaust Blood Rage and take 1 damage, draw 1 card. Wait a sec. No, they did not do this. Are you telling me if I play Valkyrie, after you defeat an enemy with a basic attack, exhaust Blood Rage, take 1 damage? Are you kidding me? Valkyrie has just been S-tiered now. You don't understand how good this card is with Valkyrie. Valkyrie gets minions out with her toolkit. She kills them. She draws a card with Valhalla. She draws a card with this. She heals also. And she's using basic attacks. Wow, this is such a good... And you can even defeat the villain on the first level, and it will... Oh no, exhaust Blood Rage. You have to exhaust it. Oh, I missed that word, exhaust. I thought you could just constantly keep using this ability, but it's still good. Yeah, it's still good. She's not S tier. I thought it doesn't exhaust, and you just take one damage, draw a card. That's why I was saying, are you kidding me with Valkyrie? How crazy this would be. Okay, so yeah, they did tone it back because you have to exhaust it. Now I wonder if you can play this on other players, max 1 per player, but usually we'll say the text may play on any player or something. So maybe it's just still geared towards, just the aggression person. Yeah. Use Tempest. 2 ally, X-Men, play only if your identity has the X-Men trait. When the villain would scheme, discard Tempest, cancel that activation, deal yourself 1 face down encounter card. Oh, that's interesting. So, and that could be procced in Alter Ego, guys. So again, this is very, very helpful. This is very, very helpful because aggression, especially if you play solo, which I don't play a lot of solo, but you can have Tempest just chilling as a utility ally. And then aggression's weakness is always dying to the scheme. So if you have one of those oh no moments, you just interrupt her and then deal yourself 1 face down encounter card, and you discard her. But that saves you from losing the game. So that gives tools for aggression, which is pretty cool. Then we got Blood Rage. Yeah, we talked about full body charge. Deal 8 damage to an enemy if your hero's remaining hit points are less than half your hero's starting hit points. This attack gains overkill. So yeah, 8 damage. I think that's like the highest we have. And then if you combine that with Hone Technique, that's doing 4 plus 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Doing 12 damage. How much was Dive Bomb doing? 6. Or does anyone know how much damage Dive Bomb does? But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the highest damage card. But Dive Bomb, you have to have aerial. Now this, you don't need aerial. And Hone Technique works on this. So this could be, now here's my thought on this, is that a lot of the toolkit events in a Identity Hero Kit, they have some of the highest damage ceilings and best, card cost ratio to damage. But this is getting close, if not maybe at that level, because it's an aggression. And if you Hone Technique it, this is by far, you're doing 12 damage with maybe overkilling 4 costs, which is ridiculous. Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, definitely very cool. Test the defense. After you play an attack event, place 1 test counter here. If there are at least 5 test counters here, discard this card to deal 5 damage to an enemy. So 1 cost upgrade. Guys, that's awesome because after you play an attack event, place 1 test counter here. Now response is you can choose to respond or not. It's not force response. Force response means you have to proc it. So you could get 4 test counters on here And say you want to OTK on the next turn, but you need to play attack event, you could choose not to respond with a counter here. And then on your following turn for the turn 1 kill, you could proc it with an event attack and then do 5 damage. So yeah, this is great for that meta game for doing a 1-turn kill on the flip. It's very strong. Oh. What is not an attack? It's not an attack. Full body charge is an attack. I don't know. Are you talking about? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Allowing you to take down tougher foes with a 1-2 punch. Benefiting the status. Also features Blood Gem. Play only if your identity has the Mystic trait. Okay, great. Let's power Doctor Strange even more. After you play an attack event. It's not an attack. Right, the upgrade itself is not an attack, but you have to play an attack event to get a counter on it and to proc it. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. So here we go, you Doctor Strange fanboys out there. There's another power card for Doctor Strange. Exhaust Blood Gem and take 2 damage. Generate a wild resource. Interesting. Do we really need to power Doctor Strange even more, though? So, but it seems like that's a hefty pay. Oh, it's a 0-cost upgrade. So here's what I'm thinking. The 0-cost upgrade is wonderful. It allows, there's a lot of turns where you only have you have no more resources left. You have this as your last card. You can play it. What's nice about this is a good target for caught off guard. Or say you're just short 1 more resource and you proc this, you take 2 damage, but then you get off your big combo or what you needed to do. But yeah, I could see this being played. Auto include for me with Magic, Doctor Strange even. Not that I play a lot of Doctor Strange. And the multi-use basic spell event spell. Play only if your identity has a Mystic trait. Hero action, choose to heal 3 damage from identity. Remove 3 from threat from a scheme. Deal 3 damage to enemy. Okay, so this is a great event card because it's utility, right? You have either do damage, you have either do threat removal, or you need a heal 3 damage. So that is a really good utility card, and I think what really, when you play on those higher difficulties, a lot of times you need utility. You need a certain thing to get you out of the jam, and this has the utility there. And it's a spell card, which she can synergize with her ability, alter ego ability, to put it on the top, and then she can do exactly what she needs. So definitely probably an auto include for her. And as even more sources, yeah. It seems that this hero can do a little bit of everything. Okay. I think I'm more excited for Bishop, but again, I'm still super excited for Magic. In fact, no, maybe it's like a tie if I'm being honest. She thematically, they nail it again, home run. And it's so cool how you're mimicking the resource printed on the top, but the wilds are it's all-star, gives you all the stat increase. But and then it's cheaper and you can play, and there's a lot of thinking going involved. And I love when I don't know if I would call her a puzzle hero, but yeah, she's kind of like a Psylocke, and she has that kind of puzzle feel, like Domino, Psylocke, and that's cool. And I love puzzle heroes. I'm all about puzzle heroes. And she's thematically, I think she looks really fun. And there's a lot of manipulation, card manipulation back and forth with her deck and in her hand. and and again, guys, we don't have all the cards for them, right? This is just a sneak peek of some of the cards in their hero toolkits. So again, she might even have some more crazier off the wall cards. We'll find out. But again, I'm super hyped for both heroes. I think they look excellent, and I think they look super thematic and fun. Heroes on the horizon. As with every Marvel Champions campaign expansion, Age of Apocalypse heralds the beginning of a new wave of hero packs. Like the previous wave, there will be 4 hero packs this time around, each of them featuring a member of the X-Men. We'll reveal each of them in time, but for now, here's a sneak peek. All right, that's Iceman to the left. That is Jubilee or Dazzler with the phone. That's Nightcrawler because the ears. And that it looks like a dude. Who would Multiple Man maybe? I don't know. But those are my guesses, guys. Yeah. So let me know in comments what you think these are. And also let me know in comments what you think of the box so far. Are you super hyped? Are you just kind of wait and see? Is this a definitely pre-order day one once it's available to pre-order? What do you think of Standard 3? I think it sounds really interesting how they changed how the Nemesis works. It's, gone are the days of getting your Nemesis minion on turn 1. And you got these side missions, which are part of the campaign, which are interesting, but a little confusing. I guess I have to read the insert. And the new heroes look off the wall. I like how they did Apocalypse, and they didn't do the Thanos route, which just slapped Stalwart on him on the first phase. You have Steady. You have nothing on level 1. Then you have Steady, and then you have Stalwart. I think that was the right way to go. And overall, we're gonna have a sneak peek of the 4th and 5th scenarios. So we better brace ourselves. But overall, this was really fun. Again, guys, this was awesome. Thank you for joining onto the live stream here, and all those people that participated in the live chat. And I'm going to be signing off here. But again, expect some playthroughs of the new content that comes out. I probably will come out of Burnout and start doing guides and deep dives, and maybe some response videos of other content creators. So again, if you like that type of content, like and subscribe, and I will see you there. All in all, guys, I'm super happy about everything. Oh, there's my face. And then Discord, everything's falling apart. But I'm going to say my goodbyes, and thank you, guys. Thank you. I will see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.